Greetings, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. It's Michaela here. Today I'm in the studio with my friend Vic. How you doing today, Vic?
I'm doing well.
Vic, the first question I would like to ask you today is, what's your favorite thing about babies?
Probably holding another person's baby, not my own.
Okay, that's a fun answer. So we're going to be talking about the science of babies today, and you're a music therapy major, right?
Yes.
So, how do you think music helps babies? Like, what do you do for music therapy in babies?
So with music therapy with newborn babies, there's actually a thing called the PAL, which it helps babies learn how to suck on a pacifier at a young age.
Okay.
So it's basically like a reward system. Okay. So when the baby is sucking on the pacifier, they play music, and when the baby isn't, they don't play music. And when they start playing the music, after a while, the baby gets used to it, and they'll learn how to suck. And that can teach them how to live and stuff. And then also music therapists often work in the NICU, helping babies relax, keep their heart rate slow, and just make sure that they are staying calm, and also help connecting relationships between them and their parents.
Yeah.
Also working on different types of cultural family music, using that, bringing that in, and offering that to a child at a young age, which can help the relationship between the family and the baby.
Yeah. Well, that's actually really cool. I never knew that they did music to teach them how to suck on pacifiers. I think that's very interesting. So as a baby, like you said about babies being able to, like, be with, like, their family, babies actually are smart. Like, so their vision when they're born is very limited, so they have facial recognition. So they can recognize their mom, they can recognize their family members. Do you ever look at a baby for, like, the first time, the baby's just, like, it opens its eyes and it's like...
Very wide-eyed.
Yeah, very wide-eyed baby.
Because it's a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, like, they don't know a lot about the world. So every day a baby is getting exposed to new things. And they're also born with 100,000 neurons. So, like, what you were saying about, like, the pacifier thing, like, they have a lot going on in their
Babies
heads.
are very smart.
Babies are very intelligent.
Just the amount of things that they catch on to at a young age.
Yeah.
Like speaking, walking, like everything.
Yeah.
For example, my brother at a young age, he learned how to run before he learned how to walk.
Really?
So as soon as he learned how to walk, he was sprinting, and my parents hated it.
Yeah, I could imagine. It's probably insane. Did you or your brother skip the crawling stage? Because a lot of people do skip the crawling stage and just get up and walk, like, when they're laying there, and then they're like, oh.
My brother did. I
Really?
didn't. I actually, it took me a long time to learn how to walk, my parents said, but I actually started talking very quickly.
Really?
So I learned language very quickly. My brother took a very long time to learn how to speak. They do say that is, like, something common between males and females, but it was definitely much more drastic with me and my brother.
Yeah.
The difference.
Because my brother skipped crawling too. My brother just got up and walked. My youngest one didn't, but I started talking, like, probably around, like, 8, I don't know.
I was talking at 7 months.
7 months.
I was talking very young, yeah.
Wow.
I remember my parents telling me that, which was pretty crazy to hear.
Yeah, that is. Wow. So you must have a very open vocabulary to everything.
Maybe.
A little. So, since babies are super smart, their heads are so big. Like, your brain never, like, grows or shrinks. Your head's just, like, same size, right? Isn't that true? Oh, someone told me your brain doesn't grow. Someone lied to me.
Well, okay, so for example, when a baby's born, their heads are a third of the size of their body.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, you have to support their neck so much and take care of their head. And a baby's skull, it's not fully developed when it's born. So, for example, like, babies are sometimes, when they sleep on, like, their back or on their side for too long, it can cause indents in their skull.
Really?
And it's actually very bad for a baby.
Yeah, their heads are so soft.
Yeah, they're very soft. So over time, they do grow. The brain grows and the skull hardens. And I don't believe your brain is fully developed or your skull's fully developed until you're 25.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, So when you can finally lift your head off the ground though, when your body weight can hold it. Because I know your babies can't hold their heads up because they're just so big. They're like, oh, like.
And their muscles in their neck are too weak.
Yeah. So I think it's around like the time from like about like 3 months, I think it is, that they can finally pick their heads up off the ground. After 3 months. And do you remember the day you lifted your head off the ground? Probably not, right? You were like, yeah, I lift my head up.
I'm so
awesome.
Strong, Mom. Look at me.
Awesome. Check it out, Mom. No, you couldn't even talk at 3 months. You go, blah, blah, blah. So a pretty interesting part of this documentary was that when a baby is born, any procedures or anything they will need when they're born should be fixed as early as possible, just because it gives them a lot of time to recover in their later childhood. So if you get like a surgery like at an older age, like you're less likely to fully recover from it. Like we know that kid with one lung, it's like he had really bad pneumonia.
Yes.
So he's living with one lung right now.
Yes.
So,
and in fact, they didn't tell that person until they were older.
Wow.
So this is actually a personal friend of mine, and they are 24 now, and they were not informed that they had one lung until they were about 16 or 18, I believe.
Wow.
And they had no idea because they just grew, and their one lung compensated for both lungs. The same thing with like babies that are born with like a cleft lip.
Yeah.
They perform that procedure very young, or heart surgery. Like they do a lot of those things if they are spotted very young.
Yeah. So like there's like cataract surgery that needs to be corrected at a young age. When I was born, actually, I went into distress, so my mom needed to do an emergency C-section. And it messed up, like, the right side of my head. So in the right side of my head, I have no peripheral vision, and if I just close this one eye, I can see, but I can't see, like, it's all blurry. Like, I don't know, for some reason it looks like the stuff's popping off pages for me. And I was like to my mom, like, when I was, like, 5, I was like, my vision in this eye is bad. And you know what she said? She was like, you're lying. Like, she really told me I was lying. So I failed an eye test years later, and I told her, I was like, I need glasses, and she was like, oh, why can you not see? I was like, I didn't do well on the eye test for my right eye. This eye is perfect. This eye is not. I had 100, like, 50/20 vision. The vision so bad in this eye.
Yeah.
And I went to get glasses, but it never got fully corrected because it was so late in my childhood that it was too late to correct it. So now my peripheral is just really bad. Like, if you held your hand over here, I wouldn't know. So, yeah.
I'm very surprised that at a young age they wouldn't check your eyesight. I mean, you can't really tell the doctor, oh, I can't see when you're a baby, but I'm surprised that they didn't check your eyes at a young age.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, as medicine has grown and changed over time, especially in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, you're 21, correct?
20.
20.
Yeah.
In the last 20 years, it's changed a lot. So even with music therapy, like, music therapy wasn't really being used with babies, I think, that much 20 years ago. But yeah, it's definitely changed a lot.
Yeah. And in the documentary, actually, there was a video with a kid who had half a brain because he had, like, some fluid was, like, I think was developing his brain. So they removed the left side of his brain. He's still alive, still functions with one half, and he's, like, he does, like, sports and stuff, and is smart. Yeah. So there's one last thing I want to talk about in this podcast today.
Sure.
And that is babies doing math.
Okay.
So babies can do math, and they were doing, like, these science experiments where they would put, like, one toy, and then they'd take the toy away, and then they'd add the toy, so the baby was, like, doing math through it. It's like the baby was watching that the toy got taken away and the toy got added. And I don't know, I just never knew that babies can do math. Like, I can't even do math right now. So, have you ever seen a video of babies doing math?
I have not.
I think you should. I think it's incredible watching them do math. If you ever get a chance, definitely see that.
I do know that babies, when they first learn like math and certain parts of language, they have they're very in the brain. They're very close to each other. Like where you learn and like your language, and you can also learn other things. It's in the same area in the brain. So, and at that young age, they learn very quickly. So, if you're showing them not a math equation, but something similar to math with like physical terms, I definitely believe that a baby could learn from that.
It's so incredible. They're very smart. And everyone underestimates them. They go, baby's not smart like it is. Well, yeah, they are.
If you say one bad word in front of a baby, they pick it up like that.
They will be saying it the rest of their lives. I know. Well, that is all of the time we have for today. Thank you, Vic, for coming on to our show. Thank you, my listeners, for listening to this. I will see you next week for my chapter on ELL.